Soulful shit, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's some soulful shit for everyone, you know what I'm saying? Like, I made this be myself, so hear me. Woo! I mean, like, we can put all that clown shit away. There's some real shit for you. I'm spazzing right now, so listen, let's go. Yeah. It's in their bones, the thugs in harmony for the love of the money. Then fall victim for the cookie, then turn pussy, it's lonely. You said you hold it down when life get rough, we're here now, so show me. We move them losses to them wins. Heavy pounds, we make it ends meet. Converse with only few who make me feel like I be 10 feet.
Yo, what's going on, peeps? We're back in the building. Match reaction time. Guys, first and foremost, smash the like button, share, and subscribe to the damn channel. As you guys can obviously see below, I just done a PSG versus Liverpool tactical analysis. I think it's only about 32 minutes long or something like that. So it's not long. We just obviously just talk a bit more in depth in terms of the tactical side of the game, man. So yeah, please, if you guys can head on over to Big Up, make sure you guys obviously watch that. I did that this morning around about 9ish, just after 9. So yeah, man, if you guys want to check that out, please do. I will chop it up into some shorts as well, so you guys can of course go and see that. But Jesus Christ, talk about scumbags, talk about dirtbags, talk about, you know, scamming your way through a game. That's exactly what Liverpool did, man. It was peak. And you know what was crazy about that was that as the longer the game kind of went on, I kind of had a feeling that it was gonna pan out in that kind of way, because I kept thinking, you know, obviously first half, you know, of course PSG all over Liverpool, absolutely. To be honest, the whole game they were all over Liverpool, but especially in that first half, right? They were all over Liverpool, and I kept sitting there thinking, yeah, but they got to score though. That's the one thing. Like, if you don't score, that's when it becomes a little bit tricky for you. You know what I mean? Like, that's where it becomes a little bit tricky, because Liverpool, at some point, I don't know when, I don't know who. I thought it would be Salah, to be fair, and funny enough, he's the one who came off. But at some point, they'll have a chance, and once they get that chance, they're probably going to score it. You know, they're probably going to, you know, hit the back of the net, man. Big up Promo. Good morning to you, my bro. But yeah, it was it was just an interesting performance, man. Really, really interesting performance. And as I said before, man, I did the tactical analysis, kind of looking a bit more in depth at it. But I mean, you guys can see it here. I mean, like, Liverpool were crap. Like that. Yeah. Well, in terms of performance-wise, they were just a better team. Crap might be maybe that's a little bit harsh, but they weren't that good. I'll put it to you that way. PSG completely dominant. Even forget the actual, I mean, goalkeeper made 9 saves, that's mad. Forget the actual shots that they had, because not all 27 of those were like what I would deem to be like high quality chances and things like that. I didn't really see it in that kind of way. I felt like it was more, they probably had about 8 or 9 of those, but not 27. You know what I mean? So you can take away about 18 of those shots, because they were just like some wayward shots from, you know, from Dembele and stuff like that. Good morning to you, Michael, bro. Hope you're doing well, brother.
Yo, man. How you doing? Yeah, morning coffee, and I just feel like a scam artist right now.
Yeah, bro. I told you, I feel like them Nigerians, you know. I can't even lie, 419 and that, like, feels kind of crazy. Yo, I'm feeling kind of crazy this morning, man. Hey, big up to my Nigerians.
Bro, you almost made me spit my coffee out.
Hey, big up to the people, them. Like, honestly, it's you know, like I said before, man. Like, we completely, and that's why I had to use that title. Michael said it last night on Twitter. I said that is the title. It has to be, because there's no other way. And this more as well, because I had to listen to Arne Slot. That was one of the, and I want to get your take on this. That was one of the main things I wanted to know was, how did Arne Slot see this? Because big up Jerry, because me and him were chatting on the phone about this, that it'll be interesting to know how Slot wanted to actually set up to actually what happened. And ultimately, Liverpool, we weren't good on the ball. We weren't really that good off the ball. Obviously, our goalkeeper was on Super Saiyan God. In fact, he even passed God mode. He was into a whole different type of stratosphere, you know, with that. So of course we needed him. But in your opinion, just in overall, and obviously we'll chop up the game, like, how did you kind of see it? How did it fare for you? Were PSG good? Were Liverpool bad? Like,
well, I mean, How do you even like analyze a game like that, G? Do you just say it's divine intervention? It's just that PSG in these big moments of the UCL, they just can't seem to grasp the moment. They can't take advantage of it because if you just watch it like purely on a football basis, it was like men against boys. It was like a U7 team going up against a U17 team. It wasn't even a competition just purely based on the football played because PSG were unbelievable. Honestly, I thought they were unbelievable until they got to the final third and even inside our own 8-yard box. I thought PSG, just the football they played, the ball movement, the off-the-ball movement from Kvara to Dembele to Hakimi to Nuno Mendes, it seemed like we wanted to go with the same approach as we did against Man City away where, okay, we're just going to be in a low block, we're going to defend well, and we're going to just say to PSG, you take shots outside the box, and Alisson, if one goes in, heck, it is what it is. It's an unbelievable goal. But the players did not execute it yesterday. They looked fatigued. 2, they looked old. And 3, they had no clue what to do. Honestly, like Vitinha was just all over the field, just give me the ball. Give me the ball. I'm going to pass it left to right, left to right. I don't know how Fabian Ruiz got 7.4. I don't think he was amazing. Yeah, he had a couple opportunities at the edge of the box, but I don't think like Vitinha and João Neves, bro, those guys are just so good. You can just see how they just absolutely dominate. It's not even just with the ball. João Neves off the ball was just winning every duel. That even though they're not like a big team, like you look at their size of the team, like only Marquinhos and Pacho are like the actual like meats and potatoes of this PSG team. They won every duel. You would expect like a Gravenberg, a McAllister, Van Dijk, Konate, even Szoboszlai. Win your duels at least. They couldn't even do that. So the fact that we won 1-0, we had one attempt the entire game, bro, that was like Courtois against us in the UCL final 2022. And Alisson that was by far his best game for Liverpool. I know he made that crucial save against Milik in the 2018 Champions League season, and that you could say was his best moment for Liverpool. This is his best moment. Unbelievable performance. And yeah, I mean, we got lucky. I mean, the corners, they have 14 corners. Did PSG even get close with any of those corners? No, they didn't. So it was just more about the Kvara that was giving me a lot of trouble. I actually thought Trent actually played quite decently. I think he was actually the best defender out of all 4 of them. I thought Trent actually did pretty well against Barcola and even defending on the back post with a lot of crosses. I thought Trent was pretty good. How he got 6? How Andy Robertson got 7.3 is beyond me. What are these ratings?
Yeah, like if anything, it should have been the other way around, in my opinion, the way I saw it.
Yeah,
if you're gonna give one of them a 7.3, it had to be Trent. Even though, but it was weird. Like I didn't think like Robbo, because every time he kept coming up against like Dembele or Kvaratskhelia, like I didn't feel like he was winning anything. I didn't really feel
he wasn't.
I don't know.
Yeah, he wasn't. So I thought Trent actually did pretty well. Like Konate and Van Dijk, that's the trouble these two center backs have faced a lot during their career at Liverpool. They don't know how to deal with a false 9. When there's not like a prolific striker in front of them, they don't know how to deal with the off the ball movement. So yeah, it was crazy. Gee, I just got to show you this though. Just from a PSG perspective, and then we can go on to the more Liverpool perspective. But look at this.
Let me get this up.
Well, I shared it now. So this is their Champions League campaign for PSG this season. Look at the XG they have created. 2.1, 0.4, 2.5, 2.1. They've created all of these opportunities. But this is reminiscent of PSG in the early on in the season. Like look at the Atletico game. Look at the PSV game. These guys created enough opportunities. The Girona game where they had a 2.1 XG. The only goal they scored was because of the goalkeeper from Girona having an own goal. So that's their own downfall. It really wasn't about, Liverpool won this game. PSG lost it. And Liverpool were the benefits of this just horrendous finishing and unbelievable goalkeeping from Alisson. That's just those sort of, whenever people want to downplay goalkeepers in football, and gee, you've played football, and all the people in the chat have probably played football. You just look at your goalkeeper one day and you're like, bro, you're on it today. And Alisson was beyond on it. Unbelievable performance. What do you think actually was his or do you want to go later on deep dive about Alisson, or do you want to say now?
No, you can say now. You can say now.
I was gonna ask you, what do you think was the best save from that night? Because for me, I think the Desiree Doué, when he cut on onto his right foot and just lashed it and was going top right corner, I thought that was unbelievable from him.
I think, yeah. It's funny because Due came on later on in the game and Alisson had already made like however many saves before that anyway. So for that to be the pick of the bunch, yeah, I would say, yeah. I'm trying to think. I mean, the free kick save from Kvaratskhelia was good. I like that because
Yeah,
I'll
it
be
was
real,
good.
that looked like it could have been in. What other shots?
Dembele in the first half where he was through on goal.
When he was through on goal, yeah. Jesus Christ, that's so crazy.
Kivara at the near post.
And then the post, like Alisson had, like I felt sorry for him at some points, man. But listen, this is what I was saying before when everyone listen and big up to Keller because he come in and he done all right, but there's just a difference with someone like Alisson. Like if anybody but Alisson is in goal, Liverpool 1,000,000% concede. I don't care who it is. By the way, as well, another thing. Speaking of goalkeepers, Donnarumma, man. I don't know, man. Like I had big hopes for this guy when he left AC Milan and they were touting him as like the next Buffon. Remember, he was making his debut at like 16.
Captain at 18.
Captain at 8. Like I thought this guy was gonna go on to be like one of the top goalkeepers, if not one of the best, if not the best. But I'll be real. In the last few seasons, I feel like he's not as good. Like I feel like other goalkeepers have been able to just outshine him in that time. I'm not saying he's not a crap goalkeeper. He's definitely not that. But I don't feel like he's really at that top level. And yesterday, when I saw the goal going, I was like, Donnarumma, man, like that should be bread and butter for you. Like for someone of your size, for someone of your ability. I thought you should be saving that, bro. Like I thought that Keller would have saved that, but for some reason I don't know, man. He's a very weird goalkeeper, very weird.
He's costed them in 4 straight Champions League campaigns for PSG. He's costed them. Remember the Benzema comeback?
Oh yes, yeah.
He gave up the ball for the first goal, and that started the whole comeback.
You see what's mad about that? Your goalkeeper. Like you don't want to have that as your goalkeeper. And one of the things, actually, I guess we'll touch on it now. Anyway, yeah. To be honest,
no. Let's relax. Let's relax. Because Donnarumma in the Euros was really good, and he saved the bum-ass Italian team. So
no, he was.
Donnarumma has to improve in these Champions League moments. He has to. You get paid so much money as a goalkeeper. You basically leave Milan for the money to go to PSG. All right, cool. Now you have to show up in these Champions League games because obviously nobody's going to rate what you do in Ligue 1. Sorry. It's just reality. Some people will not rate it, even though I will rate it because I do like Ligue 1. But my God, Donnarumma, again, over and over. It's the Dortmund game. It's the Real Madrid comeback. And yesterday, you had what? Like you had nothing to do. As your goalkeeper, just have one job for 90 minutes and you couldn't even do that. So, yep, Donnarumma. And Marquinhos also, bro. Marquinhos and Donnarumma are continuously the downfall of this team. Good players, but just they feel, I don't know if it's just the pressure or what, but they just collapse at the wrong moments for this PSG team.
No, it's true. I don't disagree, man. And Marquinhos, you'd be more surprised because he is quite experienced. He's played alongside Thiago Silva, the Brazil national team. Again, Donnarumma, Euros, Italy. Like these guys are not like bums who have just not played for anybody. They've played with some top players, but for some weird reason, they do cost their team. One of the things we're talking about goalkeepers, right? And one of the things I was saying in my when I was doing the analysis over on Big Up, right, was you could see from goal kicks, one of the things that Luis Enrique really didn't want was that he didn't want Donnarumma to play out from the back. Obviously, he doesn't trust him. That's fair enough. I get all of that. And you're coming up against Liverpool. You need to understand that they will press you, and they're good at doing so. If Liverpool, get a sniff, it's game done. They'll just, collect the ball. One of the things I kept seeing was, Vitinha would drop deep. He would be, next to the goalkeeper, or he would be on the edge of the box. Once he did that, he would then create this kind of overload where it was like 6v4, in terms of Liverpool and their front four, which was obviously Diaz, Szoboszlai, Salah, and then Jota, and then their back four, plus Vitinha dropping in there. It would then create that overload back there. Liverpool, it's funny, from their goal kicks, their goal kicks was we would then kick long. But my problem, and I said this in the analysis, was that Liverpool keep going long, which is fine to do sometimes. The problem we had in the game is you're not winning the first or second ball. So It's
Or
just it's
third,
now
or fourth, or fifth, or sixth.
Exactly. So now it's just a pointless tactic. Like, why are we always kicking long when the reality is we're not winning anything? I get it in terms of I would understand it more if you are winning some of these. If you're winning some of these, like the second ball, forget the first ball, it's the second ball I'm looking at. If you're winning that, no worries. Keep doing that. Keep doing that, and then we can just play on percentages. So maybe 3 out of 7 times, whatever. But that wasn't even happening. We're not winning anything. Midfield, sorry, that and big up ENNY, big up Saint. We're just chatting about this now. Midfield, Michael said it. Vitinha, João Neves, February. Like I said, he was more like I don't really feel like he was really that good in the game, but whatever. But those two up against Liverpool's 3 or 2 or whatever you want to call it, bro, it was like a footballing lesson. Like at some points in the game, and it wasn't actually the things that I saw on the stats sheets. So stats look good anyway for Vitinha. Like I think I was looking. Let me check here. So Vitinha was like 132 touches, 114 passes completed, 109 pass completed in the game, 96 pass accuracy, 9 long passes completed, 4 dribbles completed, 3 chances created. Heck, he wasn't even first for all of these things anyway, but he still, put in that kind of performance. Those weren't even the statistics that I actually thought he was even good at. Like in terms of, that's not what I was noticing. It's where he's picking up the ball. It's the ball manipulation. It's where he's passing the ball, which side of the pitch. Can he spot the space? Oh, okay, because everyone's playing so narrow. Guess what? Now Dembele, Kvaratskhelia have got space on the wings. He's picking up those passes. João Neves breaking up play. Vitinha was doing that too, by the way, but João Neves breaking up play. And he did it just so effortlessly, like just breaking up the play, just calm, like this is just another day, just out playing against whoever kind of thing. Liverpool's midfield, we may as well not even had one. That was stinky. They offered no protection at times for Van Dijk and Konate. And the problem with offering no protection is that when you got Kvaratskhelia, Dembele, especially because Barcola a bit more wants to hang out on the wing and then cut in. But those two, they keep moving. So they're not even staying still. So when they keep moving around, Van Dijk ain't trying to go out there because obviously you're going to leave space behind. Konate ain't trying to go out there. So they're just kind of sitting. And because they're sitting and they've got no protection, PSG kept coming closer and closer. All of a sudden now, Liverpool are sitting. I think I've got the average heat map. I'll see if I can find it. Because at one point, Liverpool were just sitting in this kind of like, there we go. That's where we was. Yeah. Like we couldn't even move anywhere because look, as you can see, right in front of Van Dijk and Konate, no protection. Look at the gap between Van Dijk, Konate, and McAllister and Gravenberch. No protection, none. So and obviously I feel it for Van Dijk and Konate because I'm like, what do you even do in that situation? Do you go? If I go, Dembele's gonna run it behind. Barcola too quick. He's gonna burn Trent every day of the week, so he's gonna get him behind. So I guess I don't know if you remember, there was one shot. I think it was Kvaratskheilia's shot. Can't remember who. I'm sure it was him. And Van Dijk seemed to just run out the other way instead of closing.
Oh, it was
down.
Dembele. It was Dembele chance.
Dembele chance. So I was like, why? Like, but I, you know what? He's probably even thinking in the game. He's like, bro, I'm not even trying to go out there because if I go out there, like, it's just gonna leave this massive gap. Even though by not doing so, you left a massive gap anyway. But I almost felt like, okay, like when I sat back and watched it again, I was thinking, you know what? He's probably thinking, bro, like I'm getting no protection from this midfield. They're not helping. So if they're not helping, they can't keep the ball. They're shit off the ball. So the reality is I'm going to have to now back myself. And obviously we know Van Dijk, Konate, 1v1s, them men can kind of do their thing. So you just have to start backing yourself in these situations. Look at the blocks Konate was doing. Look at the blocks that Van Dijk was doing. That's what we were kind of resorted to, in the end. And again, midfield, and I've said this before, and listen, I don't want to shit on the players. Like, I don't want to be like, oh yeah, like whatever. But my thing is that Gravenberch, especially, because I thought he was the worst out of all the midfielders. Maybe alongside Szoboszlai, to be fair. But in the last 2025, forget even the last, in 2025, for me, he's been poor. And in a game like this, we saw when Curtis Jones came on, when you're up against footballers like this, technicians, you need another technician in your own team because you just need to keep possession. Gravenberch isn't that type of player. He's more in the mold of like Pogba, Yaya, Toure, who are not, obviously they're technicians in their own kind of way, but they're not the Vitinhas, João Neves, Javis, Iniestas, Pedri.
Ball playing midfielders.
They're not that type of players. Jones is though. So in games like this, I'm like, the only thing I would have done is change Jones for Gravenberch. Obviously, hindsight, people were saying Nunes. I get that. Hindsight, yes, I would have said yes. How the game panned out, you probably should have just played Nunes because I didn't know how you was going to play the game. But I knew that PSG were going to have more possession anyway. I just didn't know it was going to be that bad in our midfield. So if it was, bro, play Jones. That's someone who can keep the ball. And from what everyone keeps telling me, Gravenberch is tired. And fair enough. If he's tired, whatever. But for me, bro, the brother needs to be rotated or dropped out of the team. I cannot keep watching and everyone just radio silence. I'm like, you can't be this radio silence about someone performing this poorly for so long. But God forbid there's a Bozalai, God forbid McAllister don't play well in one game. Everyone jumps on their neck. I'm like, well, that doesn't make sense because Gravenberch has been stinky for time. But no one said a word because he's been so great in that first half of the season. Yesterday's game was a game where I don't think tactics was necessarily an issue. I just think it was the players on the pitch not executing certain things. I don't think tactically we were like poor because we did what I felt we were going to do. Sit deep, make it difficult. As I say, Luis Diaz, second half, he drops in, almost forms a back five. I've got no problems with that. I've got really no issues with that. But it's going to be hard when Gravenberch can't make a 5-yard pass or McAllister loses the ball. Like, it's going to be difficult. So is that on Slot or is that on the players? For me, that's on the players. I can't blame Slot for what he was trying to do, really and truly, because really I felt that was the perfect kind of game plan against that type of team. But I don't know, obviously, how you kind of saw it. You know,
that midfield was. I mean, what can you say about the midfield? I kind of feel bad for them because I think they just got overrun with just the amount of move. Like, look at the movement off the ball from like Dembele and Kvara and Fabio Ruiz. I don't think the midfield really had like an objective of who to mark. Basically, there was not really like man marking in that sense. They just didn't know where to go. They just off the ball they were clueless. And then on the ball, they were just so tired, G. When you're running all game after the ball, your legs are feeling the fatigue. As we saw countless times in the second half when we were going the counterattack, especially Soboslai. Wrong decision. Poor pass. Then there was Gravenberch in one sequence where he received the ball in the halfway line. He has all the time in the world. He plays the pass and it goes straight for a throw-in. I said, no, get him off the field.
Get off the pitch.
Get off the field immediately because I do feel bad for Gravenberch because I think he is tired and also it's just the amount of games he's playing. He just looks tired. He just needs to get rotated. He needs to understand as well that you might be the main guy and you played very well this season. Like Gravenberch has been a revelation for us, but Endo comes onto the field and puts in a freaking performance like that. Just win your duels. If you're Gravenberch or McAllister, just win your duels. You don't have to be the sexy footballer, technician like the Vitinha, Jon Neves were. Just win your duels and make it difficult, especially away from home. I never thought that Liverpool were going to dominate possession and go toe-to-toe with PSG. I think that would have just been dumb because of the speed that this PSG team possesses. But you at least have to make it physically difficult on this PSG team. And none of the midfielders could do it. They didn't give protection. They also didn't do anything on the ball. It was just a horrendous performance from, I think, all three of them. All three were just, you can say, okay, in hindsight, you should have started Jones. Would you play them in the false nine then, G, or who would you have taken out for Jones?
I've been saying for time that you need to drop Gravenberch. Like I've said it for time. Like
you're playing a double pivot of Jones and McAllister?
Yeah, purely because when Jones is on the ball, he's the only player we have in midfield who can just keep the ball. He's very, very press resistant when he needs to be. So I'm like, just keep the ball. Because that's all we needed to do, Mike. It wasn't like, you're right. Like Endo, obviously hindsight, Endo, he came on, he won his jewels and stuff. That's fine, and that's more hindsight than anything. So you could have potentially have said, okay, maybe Endo, but I don't think you would have played him in this game, right? You can keep a McAllister there because McAllister's more of a busybody. You want Szoboszlai's energy, but you need someone who can just keep the ball. I don't think that Gravenberch, that's his like strong suit in terms of that's like the thing about him. What he's really good at is ball carrying. What he's really good at, half turn, boom, he can go. When we don't have the ball like that, he he becomes so null void that I'm like, I don't need you on the pitch anymore. Now, I'm not saying, as you said, rightfully so. He's been excellent in the first half of the season. He's been, fantastic, etc., etc. Big up, Jerry. But my thing is, in games like this, just in specific games like this, when you come up against that type of team, I don't need Gravenberch. I'm sorry. I really don't need you because you offer me nothing for my midfield. Guess what? Jones, you can though, because we couldn't keep the bro. You just said it. We couldn't keep the ball, bro. We could not keep the ball. Guess who can keep the ball though? Even though we cuss him for keeping the ball for too long, guess who can keep it? Curtis Jones can keep it. So just put Jones in that midfield.
It even wasn't just the midfield that couldn't keep the ball. It was like Diaz. He gets the ball out wide, and immediately, like there was one pass where he just plays it down the middle, and there's no Liverpool player. And then PSG just go on a quick counterattack. Or we play it out to Salah, and Salah can't get the best out of Nuno Mendes all game. So I think it was just a combination of our wingers. They couldn't keep the possession, and the midfield was just getting overrun and tired. So overall, when you think about possession-wise, that was easily the worst game I think I've ever seen from an Arne Slot team. Even at Feyenoord, even at AZ Alkmaar, that was the worst. And obviously, Arne Slot will talk about it, but he's got to look at his players and say, you guys didn't rise to the challenge. This is a Champions League round of 16 game. Yeah, you're comfortable in the Premier League, but PSG want to make a performance and make a statement. And I just don't know what happened to the team, but, at least we won.
Yeah, and that's what I'm saying. Because we walked away with a victory, it's like, okay, phew. Like I said, Arne Slot, and I want to get Jerry's point of view. Like Arne Slot after the game, we were lucky. Do you know what I mean? Like he would have been happy with the draw. That's how he felt the performance was. He was like, we would have been lucky walking away with that. To walk away with a victory, bro, you've robbed them. Like you've robbed them of a thing. But yeah, Jerry, sorry, man. First of all, good morning to you. Secondly,
morning.
How did you kind of see? Obviously, I know we spoke a little bit after the game and during the game, but yeah, just your kind of take on it, man, in terms of overall performance, man.
It's a weird one because obviously I was listening to what people were saying about the game because I didn't watch the first half, but I watched the second half, and for me, that was as professional of a performance you could go and get. Now, everything didn't work. I don't think that was necessarily the idea going into the game, but the way Liverpool were able to manage that game and limit them to shots outside the box, knowing that you've got Alisson in goal, I think was really, really, really good. Really good, and gave me more hope that Liverpool could actually go and win it all and everything that they're in because they're able to mix up. It's not they have to go gung-ho. They can only play well when they've got the ball. Because, I've said this to people before, if this was Mourinho had done this, if Simeone had done this, if whoever had done this, Moyes did this against us and won the game, Conte, he'd be praised. He'd be praised for tactically setting up like that. The difference is we haven't seen that from Liverpool. As to Mike's point, in terms of possession, the worst, we're probably in. And I think listening to Arne Slot's obviously comments, he actually mentioned the fact that, he told the players we're not going to have the ball in this game. So tactically suggests to me that we were actually set up to defend. The problem we had though is when we went to go and counter, we didn't counter effectively because we had about 4, 5, 6 chances. Do you know what I mean? Where Salah plays the right pass to Diaz, it's a goal. This person goes and plays the right, Gravenberch releases the ball to the right to Jota, do you know what I mean, to his feet inside the box, it's a goal. Loads of times you could just go and pick out, and it was all over the park. So, keeping the ball was poor. But to that point, and Arne Slot mentioned it, when you're defending for that long, you're not going to, you have to rely on the first couple of attacks to be really effective. And what you see with a lot of teams that do that, so lower down the table, is the first couple of attacks are really, really strong. If they get the goal, they then sit in and try and see out the game. Liverpool done it the other way, where we sat in because we couldn't keep the ball, we sat in for so long. It was like, once we got the ball, it just looked like, the players had lead in their legs. Played the ball, they couldn't control it. Ball goes up to Jota, it bounces off his foot. Do you know what I mean? Now you don't keep it. Now they come back on a counter, and the ball just keeps coming back and back and back, and we didn't have an outlet. And I think once we had an outlet on and put some fresh bodies, especially with Jones and Nunes in particular. Like
Mm-hmm.
Nunes was stretching the play, but more so Jones. I saw him holding off the centre backs and controlling the ball and giving us an outlet where he caught it on his thigh, he holds off the player, and then we keep the ball able to get the players up the pitch. And yeah, again, it's from a manager's point of view, he probably looks at it like a tactical victory because the players couldn't do the second part of the game plan, which was to counter effectively, but defensively, outstanding. And if we were to go and do that in every single Champions League game to the rest of the season, I mean, you win a Premier League, innit? And that, I mean, win a Champions League, and that's what Real Madrid have done on so many occasions. That's how, Atletico Madrid have won leagues and got to finals. That's how Chelsea have won the league. That's how Mourinho's done. I mean, one with Porto. You can win games like that. It's just a bit, I guess, unusual, and it's unknown territory for Liverpool fans because we're used to being the aggressor as opposed to sitting off me like, you guys have the ball, break us down, then see whether you can do that. And ultimately, for all the tricks and the flicks and stuff, especially in the second half, again, I didn't watch the first half in depth, and I know there was a couple of times where I saw Van Dijk, like he's in the centre and he runs off to the left and just allows Barcola to, like, which just didn't make any sense to me. But
I wish you saw it because I was going to ask. I was like, Jerry, I need you to.
I saw that. That's just madness. It's like he's just been like, yeah, cool. It didn't make sense. But that second half for me was again reminiscent of Benitez, reminiscent of. Do you know what I mean? Like that will go down in Champions League folklore for Liverpool, where you went away to the Parc des Princes to a team that won 10 on the bounce. And you made them look like they just for all the skills and all the tricks. And I know the crowd gasses it and the commentary gas it, but you'd be sitting there if you were on the bench and be like, "No, Liverpool in control in that second half," because they're getting the ball. He's doing his step over, but you cut inside. There's 5 players there, and you've got Alisson in goal. And ultimately, this is why you've got a keeper in goal to save shots from the distance. So, yeah, that was kind of my analysis. But yeah, man, it was good to watch. It was refreshing to watch, in my opinion.
I would just counteract what Jerry says that, the second half was a bit better than the first half, but the first half we were getting overrun. And the amount of chances that PSG had in our own 18-yard box was criminal. Like the amount of chances, like Kvara easily getting into the box, to Hakimi, to Nuno Mendes, to Barcola. It could have not been any worse than that from a Liverpool's perspective defensively. And going forward, I mean, I don't think we got anywhere near Donnarumma in that first half. Nowhere near.
Again, I didn't watch it.
Yeah.
You guys are right. I saw it and I was like, whoa, this didn't look crazy. So you're right to that point.
Whereas in the second half, I think we played a little bit better and we definitely had the opportunities to counterattack. But every time we got on the ball, it just was bad decision. Like that one opportunity that Salah had. We're in a 2-on-1 situation. All you have to do is whip it around the Marquinhos, and Nunes is through on goal. And he just... I mean, that was the worst game by Salah. He's had some, not I would say stinkers this season, but that was terrible. You can't beat, like, Nuno Mendes is a very good left back. You can at least beat him once. Did he complete any dribbles? I don't think he completed any dribbles in the game. Passing was terrible. Luckily, that is the good thing about this game. Almost every player, barring Alisson, probably had like a 4 out of 10. Okay, maybe you could give Trent like a 7 out of 10 and Konate and Van Dijk for the second half. But all of the players, majority of them, put up stinkers. So that's at least a good sign heading back to Anfield that we can, because this tie is definitely not over. Because there's no away goals, this tie is still up for grabs for both teams. And that's the thing for Liverpool. They just got to take the game now to PSG. Let's see. This is a young team. And how do they then react? They haven't been good away from home in Europe. I think they've lost to PSG and lost to Bayern Munich. They obviously lost to Arsenal. So they've not been a good away side in Europe. That's going to be the interesting thing on how does Arne Slot then approach next week at Anfield. Does he just take the game to PSG from the first minute, or does he kind of sit back again like he did yesterday? But yeah, that was not great. Great performance.
Salah, 0 out of 8 ground rules. No tackles in the game, no accurate long balls, no accurate crosses, no successful dribbles in the game. He touched the ball 41 times, 5 times actually in opposition box.
Do you know what the problem is? I find with Liverpool, and because this game was very reminiscent to like what Atalanta did with us when they just like pressed us all over the pitch and went man for man, right? Is obviously the Atalanta one was more of a shock. But when you looked on the pitch in terms of just for PSG, even if you think Liverpool's the better team, which is a fair analysis if you want to look at it that way, man for man, and every part of that pitch, PSG had players, right, that 1v1 can either defend to a higher level or can attack to a higher level. So when you go man for man and it's Robbo against his winger, then Dembele's like, you expect top class wingers to be able to beat their man when you're that good, elite level. Marquinhos 1v1 against Jota was non-existent.
Yeah,
he didn't do anything, because what's going to happen is he beats you, but then you're going to try and press him, and Marquinhos is equally adept at stepping into midfield and driving with the ball and progressing the ball. So now he's beating you 1v1 that way. All over the pitch, Vitinha, João Mendes, they're all players that were really good, either obviously on both ways, so defensively and going forward, but they were really good in certain areas. So you could go 1v1, but I wasn't sitting there confident thinking, you know what, man for man, yeah, man, like, do you know what I mean? Like, Gravenberch against like whoever, man for man, yeah, it's fine. We can leave him 1v1. We can leave him 1v1 to do his job, especially the way he was playing. Or McAllister, I don't want to see him 1v1 against João Mendes. João Mendes has got legs on him. You're going to get past him. Like, we even saw it where, you know what I mean, a couple of times João Mendes got fouled, and that's the problem. And I think we have to adapt to being more of a unit to stop that and to counter that. Because if we just continue playing man for man, I think it would have just ended up. Do you know what I mean? We would have ended up losing that game. Yeah, 100%.
No, it's true, and yeah, you're right in terms of how reminiscent it was against Atalanta last season. Difference is obviously they were able to slap 3 goals or whatever it was in the game. And to be fair, this game, it could have gone that kind of way. That's how mad it was. It could have actually been that kind of game where they just score the goals, and once they score the goals, it's just like, oh shit, okay, well, did the plan really work? It's like I say, it's one of those, like the way I kind of described it, 6 of one, half a dozen of the other, because you can say it worked because obviously you back your goalkeeper in a lot of these situations in terms of long shots outside the box, and like that should be kind of bread and butter, right? Maybe not everything, but you'll back Alisson. On the flip side of it, they obviously had the goal disallowed. They had one-on-ones against Alisson. If those go in now, all of a sudden, now you've gone from winning a game 1-0, you've now lost 4-0. And all of a sudden, it's like, oh, well, that didn't work. You know what I mean? Now we got to do something completely different in the second leg to really go. Now Liverpool in control for that second leg where they can. I'm more interested about the second leg now because it's 1-0, because I want to know, how do you approach this game now? You're at home. Obviously we'll get to that when we come to that preview, but yeah, I'm so interested because I knew this game would pan out the way it did. Not score. I thought that it would be a different score. Just the way it panned out. PSG have the ball, Liverpool defend, whatever. But I didn't know what the score would be.
Do you know what it is? I feel like the problem PSG have got right now is they can. We've proven that we can shut them out, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, so we got lucky in the first half, but second half we showed that we can shut them out. To Mike's point, every single one on that pitch was rubbish, really. Like, apart from a couple individuals, right, that you could single out. But even then, it's like they were good at one thing, but then poor at another. So Trent, really, really good defensively. His passing wasn't the best it could be. Salah was rubbish. Diaz running, progressing with the ball was actually all right. But then sometimes decision making was poor. But defensively done all right. Like that all over the pitch, right? But again, not the best games for majority. Liverpool, you're not going to get a Liverpool again where man for man, everyone's had a poor game, where Van Dijk makes an error and walks off like that. So even if Alisson was to drop off and not have his worldy performance again, Liverpool are going to be better. And what you can trust is that in transition, Liverpool make the right decision 8-9 times out of 10. So PSG now are in a sticky situation because although you were saying, look, we're gonna obviously try and come at PSG. If you try and come at PSG, you were going to play the game that they want to go and play. PSG are vulnerable right now because if they concede again at Anfield, I think it's over.
Yeah.
I think it's done. Even if it's just one goal, I think it's done. I think it's not like with under Jurgen Klopp where you score one goal, but you could end the tie 4-3 to PSG because you're just open all the time. Liverpool have proven they can sit off. So Liverpool now are poised to play the transition game and the counter-attacking game, which we know is second nature to Liverpool and are probably the best in the world at doing that. So that's a really scary ideal for PSG now. It's like, if we come out too high, spacing behind, Salah's not going to have another poor game. So Salah now makes that pass. Gakpo might be back. Do you know what I mean? Diaz might have a better game. Nunes comes on or you start, or Gravenberch is rested because he's got a bit. Konate is better. Trent has, do you know what I mean? His passes are on point. So now PSG are like, this is going to be a bit. Do you know what I mean?
No. I agree. That's what I said. I'm so interested in that second leg. Like, I want to know how we set up. But yeah, sorry, go on, man.
No, sorry, G. I was just going to say also, it's probably mentally just such a gut-wrenching punch on PSG that you play so well. You know, it's like, as footballing teams, you just think to yourself, man, we played so well, but we lose this game. How? So it's either going to be for PSG, it's in their psyche, like, okay, are we going to be able to replicate this performance, or are now we're under the cosh here at Anfield? And we know Anfield, second leg, Champions League nights, is very difficult for the opposing team. So I'm really interested to see how mentally, because we could talk about the football and all that sort of stuff, but mentally, how do PSG recover from this? Like, how? I showed you those stats earlier, G, from early on in this season. They couldn't recover in the Champions League. The performances against PSV, to Atletico, to Bayern, they played really well in those games, but they lost or they would drop the points. So it's more on PSG. How do you recover from this? Rather, from Liverpool, it's like, it's only up from here for how bad you perform.
No, it's true. I think listen, I guess we'll talk more about it later, but yeah, I just look at it and I feel like if you can start fast in that game, you can make it a very nervous night for Liverpool. I think it could be one of those because, as you said, there's no away goals. So there's not like, it doesn't mean double anything. So if they score first, as an example, in the first 10 minutes, Liverpool still have to score. You know what I mean? Like, yes, we know that.
I was thinking that if there was away goals, then we would be a bit more cautious.
Yeah. Do you know what I mean? We'd be a lot more cautious. Whereas now, there's no away goals. So really, as long as I score first in the game, man can just kind of, obviously Liverpool, I feel, will play the game how it is in terms of, even if they score first, we'll still maybe just chill a little bit before we do that. But we'll get to that game when we get to there. Obviously, these two moments in the game, they really did change the kind of tide, if I'm being totally honest. Obviously, the offside goal, we can see at the top there. That's how close he was to being onside, literally back leg. But it's offside regardless. We can't, can't complain about, those kind of things. The push on Barcola. I don't know if you saw it, Jerry. I don't know if you watched.
I saw like an analysis on it. They were talking about it on CBS, and
now I need you to take off your centre back, like thinking, just you watching it. Was that a foul? First,
it's a foul. It's a foul.
Okay,
it's clumsy. It's a foul. The striker's got wrong side of him. Like on any level, that's a foul. Okay. Like you'd be lucky to get away with it. I actually believe like you go to a non-league, you go to a Sunday league game. If that happens, that's a foul. Whether it's a pen or not,
I think it was just outside the box. To be fair,
that's a different discussion. But it's 100% a foul. 100% a foul. I don't think.
No, because people obviously were debating it in that, and I was just wondering.
Was it actually in the debate? Because obviously I don't. Again, I wasn't on the social.
No, people were like actually debating. I was like, debating that, bro. That's a red card, bro. Like he's the last man, and he fouls him. Like in that moment, that would have been a red card anyway because he was the last man. So remember, Barcola's in on goal.
Was that the heart? Is that the box?
Yeah, so he's going to that's the edge of the box that you can see there. That's the circle thing.
Reason why I say it might not be a red card is because of the distance between him and Allison.
No, Allison was Allison was not close to the ball.
As in if Konate doesn't make that foul, he takes the shot. Whether he scores, obviously we don't know, but he takes the shot because he was so close to goal. Yeah. So it was like,
Yeah, because
when he made
I
that
saw the
foul.
still. So I saw that still, and they were talking about it on CBS.
Oh
Yeah,
yeah, no, it
that's
was he was
that's just a foul in it. That's just a foul. Liverpool got lucky in it. No, it's as
yeah.
simple as that.
Okay, no, I didn't know because I thought the way people were debating and they're like, that can't be if someone Harris, big up yourself, bro. But he said if the game's gone, if that's a foul, I was like, bro, the game's gone. If anything, the game's gone that we didn't get. Do you know what I mean? Because really, if that happened the other way around, we would have been if Salah was through on goal in that same situation, we would be saying the exact same. We'd be like, oh my god, the referees are cheating us. The UEFA are against us. Red, we'd be doing what Arsenal fans are doing right now if that happened the other way around. So for me, I looked at that and said, nah, bro, that's definitely a foul. Big up Hakeem. Big up a morning to everybody, by the way, man. Big up to your damn selves. I watched to Ferdinand Vidic and Jon II make this exact same tackle for years. It was never a foul, but now it is. Remember, you're talking about a different time though. Like, and to be honest, I still thought that then that this would have been a foul. You can't
Exactly.
Back then,
Can't
I've seen
compare.
fouls given for that. Back then, I've seen fouls given. I've seen that happen, and then all that happens is Rio Ferdinand and Vidic end up on their hands and knees, and then they look up and it's a penalty, and they go, and they're all like shocked. Yeah, I mean, like that's a pen, man. That's a pen or foul, or whatever you want to put.
No, it's a definite penalty, man. But
Kvara, man, I love this guy. I love this player. I don't care what anybody says about GA nonsense. It's probably some 15-year-old virgin who's in his parents' bedroom who's talking about GA. Kvara is simply a baller. You don't have that sort of technique. You're blessed with it. Kvara, I don't know how he got blessed with it, being from Georgia, because there's not many Georgian footballers out there, even though right now there's a lot of good players. But Kvara is magic, bro. The dude is just simply like both feet. Like he hasn't shown a lot of abilities with his left foot at Napoli because he was mostly playing down the left channel and cutting inside with his right foot. But Kvara, just the way he just evades all the pressure from the opposing defenders, it's just magical to watch Kvara.
No, listen, I felt like he for me was the best attacker on the pitch anyway. But you know what I liked about him in this game? He's like this anyway. But and why I wanted him is that, like, you know, who can I use? Diaz. Diaz is very obvious in terms of what he is about, in terms of it will be about, you know, the intensity. It will be about the step overs and stuff like that. And then he wants to cut inside. Gakpo, very obvious about what he's about. He's very like one-dimensional. It's like go down and then I want to cut in. With Kvaratskhelia, like, and I'm not just this game, but this is just how he plays. It's very nonchalant. So you don't really know what's going to happen. You don't know if he's gone on the outside or the inside. And he can use both feet and shoot with both feet. Something that I don't think Gakpo or Diaz can do. So when you've got a player like that, like Dembele, for example, they can go on the outside or the inside. It makes it so difficult. But his is like the way he was dribbling, bro. The guy was, there's 3 or 4 players in there. And I remember I listening to what Jerry was saying. There was 3 or 4 players, bro. He got through that. Like he had no problem. He just got through that. Like, and he wasn't even like doing a madness where I was like, oh my God, like look at the way he was just, it was almost like he was just walking through it, but we didn't want to touch him, obviously, so that he will get a penalty. But it was so easy, in my opinion, you know, for Kvaratskhelia, dropping deep, picking up the ball, carrying the bro. Honestly, fantastic winger. We should have signed him when we had the opportunity to sign him. We didn't sign him. I guess it's just one of those, you know, one of those things. Now, big up Jerry, man. All love, regardless. Yeah, so it's just one of those kind of things with Kvaratskhelia, and I felt like he was really, really good. He did, you know, deserve his goal. Unfortunately, it was chalked off. Pops, bro, why didn't we sign him? Do you know what I mean? Like, I think he's almost like an X factor in himself, alongside Salah, who's obviously Salah, and he'll get you all the goals and etc. etc. This guy can just make things happen, bro. Like, I don't feel like he needs to be someone who, yes, maybe in a slot system in a game like yesterday, maybe he wouldn't have been the best player potentially to have, but then at the same time, I think
he would have been with his ball carrying ability and the way he can just beat defenders. So I think he would have been actually. I think Kvara can play in any system. Honestly, I think he can play in any system. Same like Eden Hazard. Eden Hazard played in a low block counter-attacking team. You could play in a possession style team. I think Kvara can do both. I think the dude is just sensational. I love the player.
Nah, he's honestly, he was top. Dembele was, but for me, it was Vitinha in the middle of the, like, I don't think you guys
Nah,
are like. I love
nah, G. It
players.
was Nuno Mendes. Nuno Mendes, bro. Remember the
No,
video
no,
we
no, no.
did talking about potential level, bro? Nuno Mendes, lockdown, and his ball carrying ability and passing is so elite. And
Yeah.
defensive. Although for the goal for Elliott, Nuno Mendes, I don't know what he's doing.
Yeah, he was missing. He kind of
Yeah, he was missing. He was completely missing. So that was poor from Nuno Mendes. But overall, I thought he was spectacular.
No, he was. He definitely locked down Salah. That type of defender Salah doesn't want to come up against. He's fast,
No.
he's strong, he's good in a tackle, and he goes forward and he's quick enough to get back. Salah don't want that kind of problem because it means then he's got to do too much, and Salah's not really in that kind of do too much kind of phase right now. He's in I need a bit more calmer, you know what I mean? Someone who's going to let me come inside in times if I get the ball out wide and and stuff like that. But yeah, man, too much praise for the team that lost. And yes, they were the better team, man. Like it's just one of them kind of things. Liverpool, I had nothing really good to say about Liverpool outside of the fact that we won 1-0. I had nothing else. There was nothing else about the performance that made me think, yeah, you know what I mean? Like outside of being able to win 1-0 and sit in deep. But let's be real, Liverpool were extremely lucky, like as in dumb luck. As I said, as Arne Slot said it, like probably more than we deserved. Like that tells you when the manager is even thinking the same thing. Like he would have been happy walking away with a draw. That's how lucky we were in this game. We did not deserve to win the game, but you're right. We won the game, so of course we kind of we kind of have to move on in that regards. But for me, yeah, PSG were the team. Yeah, that was a real clinic in terms of that. It was just unlucky that they didn't score, but yeah, I really like Vitinha's performance though, man. Like, that's my type of midfielder. Like I like those type of, but obviously I'm a Barcelona guy, so he would fit into a Barcelona system very seamlessly. Like that type of player who can just
G is just a pretty guy, guys. He's just pretty nice on the feet, nice on the feet. He doesn't want the sort of meats and potatoes sort of midfielder. That's G.
Yeah, nah, I don't need all of that, man. I don't need all of that. Hold up, why the comments not coming? There we go. Best team played this season. Yeah. That was the toughest game that Liverpool played. Like they boxed us off the park like no man's business. And you're right. No, it's true. And that was, you know what? I did say this at the beginning of the season, right? Because obviously this is when they still had Kolo Muani, who's now at Juventus doing his thing there. But I think Enrique, obviously, as the season has gone on, he's stumbled across something. Obviously, you sign Kvaratskhelia. I'm sorry, but your striker has to get dropped at this point because you need.
Oh, they didn't play with a striker anyways.
Yeah, they weren't playing with one. But at the same time, because now you've got Kvaratskhelia, you now can't even play Ramos anymore, really and truly, because it's like he's got to just play
back sub.
Yeah, he's got to be just sub and maybe just playing different type of games and etc. But I felt like throughout the season, obviously, like I said, they started with the Kolo Muanis and people of that kind of ilk. They obviously had Ramos and he was trying to play with those kind of players. Fair enough. But the way he stumbled across this now, and I think it works for them, for PSG, like it's very balanced. And of course, at the beginning of the season, I didn't think they would be able to, like, I didn't know. I just didn't know how they would be able to like really progress. I liked what they were doing. They got players that I like, Barcola, Doué. Dembele is one of those. He's like a weird one kind of player. But I liked Vitinha. I didn't know he would be this good though. I will say that I didn't. Really
he wasn't good at Wolves. Remember?
Yeah, that's what I kept telling someone. I was like, nah, this can't be the same guy that we watched.
Yeah,
and he's playing like this. But listen, some people develop at different rates. So I didn't think it was going to work in the way that I'm seeing it now. But now I'm seeing it. I have to give props to Luis Enrique and, what he's trying to do. And, the players that, I mean, when you can bring on Doué and Zaire Emery, like, do you understand, like, the level of player that you're bringing on? Like, these are young players, by the way, young ballers. But these are, like, the top end of young ballers. Like, they're the top quality ones. And you're bringing these guys off the bench. That's ridiculous. Crazy. Like that is actually stupidly ridiculous. So yeah, man, I have to give them ratings, and I think they're doing things. If they had done things this way from the start, and then ended up with the Mbappes, the Neymars, because they got the money to do it, so they could have ended up with that. If they had done that, they tried to get success too quickly. That was their problem. They were like, okay, we need Ibrahimovic, Cavani, Lavezzi, then Mbappe, Messi, Neymar, Verratti. They were trying to get success too quick. And when it didn't happen, you just saw like, even when Messi was there, it wasn't really popping, and they getting out Champions League, and it was kind of.
They were trying to be TMZ team. That's what they were trying to be, PSG. But now they've built a team. But you can see that still. I just don't know if it's just the demons of European football that comes back to haunt them or what, but they just can't get it over the line. They can't. They should have beaten Dortmund last season in the semifinals. They destroyed them. They hit the post like 5 times, 6 times. They couldn't beat Dortmund. It would have been a really interesting final between PSG and Real Madrid. But yeah, I think it's just the demons of PSG, man. They just can't get it over the line. Marseille will always have that over them. Their biggest rivals, that they've won a European title, and PSG simply can't do it. But look, they lost the first leg against Barcelona in the quarterfinal last year, and then obviously they won the second leg at the Montjuic. But obviously that was down to Araujo being stupid and getting the red card. So maybe PSG can do it. Who knows? That's why Liverpool got to be on it again. They know this is not far from over.
Yeah. And I think also as well, one thing I will take into consideration for Liverpool, I keep saying it, Liverpool with a break are not a good team. Liverpool cannot.
They need rhythm.
They need rhythm, bro. You can just see it. So like everyone was so. Remember, this is our first game for a week or whatever it is since our last match against Newcastle. I think it was Newcastle. Like you can see, they're like everyone's tired, a bit lethargic. PSG have been playing, so they've got rhythm. They're into that kind of rhythm of everything. And again, quality over a period of time, as I always say, it will always tell. Or more often than not, quality will always tell. So, listen, man, it is what it is. But let's wrap it up here. Go enjoy the rest of your day, peeps. You will be redirected to ENDZ. You'll be going live at midday. You'll be going live at midday. So yeah, make sure you guys smash the like. I should be over there as well. Hopefully I can just get some work done in this next hour. Michael Talks, guys. Make sure you go over there and subscribe. Mike, have you got anything coming up, or have you got anything out?
Yeah, today, what time? 2 p.m. UK time, I'll be live recapping all the 8 games of the Champions League, because somehow Barcelona won, somehow fucking Bayern Munich destroyed by Leverkusen. So it was a pretty epic week in the Champions League, and also Julian Alvarez, bro.
That was such a peak goal. Like as soon as he hit it, I said, "No way is he." And like Courtois was at full stretch as well.
Yeah,
like, nah, he's been there. Hey, by the way, guys, if you didn't see it, go see Musiala's his nice little flick. I think Michael's posted it out on his Twitter anyway. Go see the flick, the chance he gives to Harry Kane, who fucks up and puts it over the freaking bar. But it was
Paulinho. Paulinho missed it.
Paulinho. Yeah, Paulinho. Go see that, man. By the way, Harry Kane. Whew, yeah, he's
Harry Kane hasn't missed a penalty since the World Cup in 2022.
Like I say, man, and his penalties are really good. Like the technique he gets,
they are
ridiculous. And there's going to be a few conversations. Listen, I think Ballon d'Or talks, just off topic, Ballon d'Or conversation, I genuinely believe whoever wins it, that player will win it from that team. So everyone's got their one player that they can pick. Barcelona have obviously Rafinha. Liverpool have Salah. Real Madrid, I don't know, but I feel they'll go maybe more side of Mbappe because he's been the better player in my opinion over recent weeks. Then you've got Bayern, I don't know. You could go Harry Kane, but I feel like if Musiala has a good run to the end of the season, he could be looked at. But it would have to be a really good run in terms of.
Okay, G. What if Inter win it? Then who are you gonna give it to?
If Inter were to win it, then
because they're not going to give it to Bastoni, but he deserves it.
Okay, you're not going to give it to Bastoni, 100%.
But he deserves it, in my opinion.
I don't think he gives it to anyone. Honestly, like like sometimes you just look at it and think, yeah, maybe it's more of a team thing. Like no one will be a standout.
Yeah,
Bastoni, yes, he is a standout, 100%, and I think he has performed, really, really well this season anyway, and in the Champions League. But you know how these things work. If they're already looking at a defender, unless it's Virgil van Dijk levels, which I don't think he's performing at, unless it's that, they just won't look at Inter in general. They'll just be like, okay, we'll just go to the next player after that, whoever that player is. Christian, PSG done groundworks on him for a year. Yeah, it's true. No, it's true.
Yeah, we were never going to sign Cavada. Come on, people.
Yeah. it's annoying, but it's one of those things. But guys, yes, I will be putting out a few shorts anyway as well after this of my analysis, just looking at the game. So over on Big Up, to make sure you guys, of course, check that out. Hopefully, yes, I will see you guys in the next literally 1 hour and 1 minute. If ENDZ is late, guys, make sure you get onto him. Big up Mikes, big up Jerry, love for joining. Guys, thank you for tuning in. Big up to all the members as well. I will catch you guys soon. Enjoy the rest of your